morning, everyone. It is 8:30 on Wednesday, August 26th, and it's morning briefing time. First of all, no changes to the National Terrorism Advisory System overnight. Snapshot of the region this morning. You can see the updated numbers for the unaccompanied children. As of Monday, you still have two declarations working there. Oklahoma and Texas. Louisiana is scheduled to close on the end of the month, Monday. No ongoing damage assessments this morning, and no fire management requests. As we switch over to the geo platform this morning, things are quiet around the region. Jonathan will have a weather update in just a moment. Before we go there, no changes to the status of our state EOCs, no changes to the status of our region operations center or the national operations centers, no changes to the status of our watch, and no changes to the status of our IMAX this morning. We'll take a quick look at the tropics before we turn it over to Jonathan, and there is the latest from Tropical Storm Erica, and it is making the path just north of the island and headed for the south coast of Florida. Now we'll go back over to the big map and turn it over to Jonathan.
All right, thank you, Paul. So right now, like you said, pretty quiet across Region 6. We've got some scattered shower activity across portions of western and central New Mexico, and as well along that lingering and pretty diffuse frontal boundary down across portions of Texas, College Station, down in Houston. And as we move on into today, not expecting any significant impacts other than isolated to scattered thunderstorm activity. And I do want to make mention some monsoonal moisture across western and northern portions of New Mexico could lead to some isolated flooding and flash flooding concerns there, but widespread significant impacts should be, for the most part, nil. So heading back out into the tropics, we just looked at Erica there, moving off to the west at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, expected to continue to track west and northwestward. Stay a tropical storm for a good chunk of this week into the weekend. And latest National Hurricane Center forecast strengthening it to a hurricane as we get into sometime later Sunday night into Monday, just near or north and west of the Bahamas. And just do want to make mention there is still a great deal of uncertainty here with the track and intensity of what exactly Erica is going to do. And this forecast is slightly more westward of what we saw yesterday morning at this time, but still expected to remain east of all of FEMA Region 6 at this particular time. And a lot of this will depend on exactly how an upper-level trough across the eastern United States and that lingering frontal boundary we talked about earlier interact with the system, and also with how the system intensifies. If we see it strengthen to a hurricane quicker, it would likely turn north a little quicker and be even farther away from Region 6, whereas if it stays weaker longer, it could certainly track a little farther westward. So just something we'll have to monitor through the upcoming days here. And as I mentioned for today, western and northern sections of New Mexico could see isolated heavy rain leading to some flash flooding concerns as we see a series of upper-level systems move through that portion of the country, bringing scattered thunderstorm activity, and then no significant weather impacts expected through the following 4 days thereafter. But we will continue to watch Erica for into next week for any potential westward shift in track impacting any portion of Region 6. And again, no imminent hazards in terms of severe weather expected today other than some locally heavy rain across New Mexico there. Widespread amounts, though, by and large, pretty benign. And again, drought concerns across eastern portions of Texas likely alleviated at least a bit as we head into the update tomorrow on the drought monitor. But we can see there the western portions of New Mexico hopefully get a little rain to lower some of the risk out that way, but hopefully not enough to really produce much in the way of flooding, especially across burn scar areas from recent wildfire activity. And then space weather remains fairly benign for today through the end of the week. So that's all I've got for this morning.
Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate that. Any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat window. If you're on the phone, ask your question. In the meantime, we take a look at the meetings going on around the region this week.